Hi guys, it's Galina, and today I want to share with you how I made 10 cards using Crafty Ola's February card kit. I started my card by die cutting piece of pattern paper using rectangle nesting die. I also used scalloped border die to cut the bottom part of the pattern paper. For this card I decided to use combination of two pattern papers. I glued both pattern papers together and stick them on the slightly large black card base. In the center of the card I placed oval frame made out of pink cardstock, and I die cut the heart using black glossy cardstock and die from the kit. I cut strip of pattern paper with Valentine's Day sentiment on it from one of the papers from this kit, and I placed it in the center of the heart using a foam pad. I decorated my card with gemstone and card number 1 is finished. For my card number 2, I selected ombre effect pattern paper with the sentiments all over it and the smaller craft tag from the kit. On the top of the tag I placed wooden heart sentiment which reads love you more and self-adhesive sticker typing machine. I stick them all together using the foam tape. I placed my tag on the left side of the pattern paper and secured the tag to one using the glue. I place this piece on the card base, decorated with some small die-cut hearts, and the card is finished. For the card number 3, I selected white and pink check pattern paper and a piece of vellum. I place the vellum in the center of my pattern paper in a way that it's creating the triangle on the left side of the pattern paper. I cut all the excess off and move to the next step. For my focal point of this card, I die cut scalloped edge circle out of white cardstock and place it in the center of my card. I decorated the circle with the ready-made floral bouquet and sentiment with the heart-shaped gemstone. I place this panel on the top of the white card base and my card is finished. For my card number 4, I am going to use a combination of two pattern papers. One piece is made out of the specialty paper and the other one is pattern full of XO things. To cover the join of these pattern papers, I decided to use gold and black outline peel-off stickers. I decorated my card with ready-made rosette and the puffy heart. I added ready-made sentiment to which I cut from the pattern paper at the bottom of my panel, and the card is finished. For my next card, I am going to use black cardstock and floral pattern paper, which I die cut using a scallop border die. I am using rectangle nesting die as a guide to recreate the panel out of these two papers. I am going to place these pieces on a slightly larger red cardstock and secure it with the glue. To decorate my card, I decided to use some stickers from the kit, large heart, floral bouquet and the sentiment. To finish my card, I am going to add a small puffy stickers and the card is finished. For my next card, I'm going to use a pattern paper with the tiny little flowers and the specialty paper, which is coral color paper embossed with the hearts. I cut my specialty paper slightly smaller and place on the top of my pattern paper. I created the focal point of my card by selecting ready-made stickers such as sentiment, flowers and secured in the center of my card. I finish my card by adding heart puffy sticker. For my next card, I selected strappy patterned paper and I cut a rectangle frame out of the red cardstock. I'm going to place this frame on the top of the vellum and then secure it on the top of the paper. In this way, my patterned paper will have a matte effect. For my next step, I selected the patterned paper full of sentiments and images. I picked one which has X or hearts shape image on the red card. I created the white frame around by placing it on the top of slightly larger white cardstock piece. I also added die cuts heart and the ready-made sentiment, and placed my creation in the center of my pattern paper. I decorated my card with puffy stickers and gemstones. I finished my card by placing this panel on the slightly larger card base. For my next card, I'm using standard card made out of the red cardstock. I cut a piece out of the white cardstock slightly smaller than the base of the card and glue it on. In the center of my card, I placed oval frame made out of the craft cardstock. I used stamped flower and die cut heart, which is secured behind the sentiment sticker. I placed my creation in the center of my card. I'm finishing the card by adding some Nuvo Drops dots. For my next card, I'm using the black cardstock and create the standard card. I selected the pattern paper full of sentiment hearts. I cut a piece of slightly smaller than the card base and stick it on. I die cut 3 hearts out of the black cardstock and added vellum at the back, but only securing in the center of my heart. I done this in order for the heart side to lift up and create a 3D effect. I glued all 3 hearts vertically on the left side of my pattern paper. I added ready-made sentiment using foam tape. I finished my card by adding gemstones in the center of my die-cut hearts. My next card is the shaker card, and I started by die-cutting square-shaped frame out of the pink cardstock. I used acetate at the back of my frame. I also die-cut frame out of foam using the same square die. I secured my foam frame to the cardstock frame, added sequins and placed it on the pattern paper. I selected sentiment and glued it on the piece of vellum before securing in the center of my shaker card. I decorated my card with flowers, which I cut out from specialty paper from this kit, and finished my card by placing the shaker element on the card base. For my last card, I cut a rectangle piece out of the red cardstock, slightly smaller than the base of the card. I also cut a large heart out of the light green cardstock. I secured my heart in the center of cardstock and decorated with ready-made bouquet sticker, which has a sentiment in the center. I decided to decorate my card by adding small dots around my heart using white gel pen. I hope you liked all my 10 cards and see you soon!